These are, this is when our character is really tested. You know, we say our culture is really strong, and we say, there's a phrase that we use all the time. I told the team in the locker room, sometimes you, sometimes me, always us. And the reality is that that's easier to say when different people step up and you win games. That's harder to be committed to when you lose games. And 3 games in a row of one possession games, that's on me. And I will take, I'm always gonna, games that close, I gotta get us better. I gotta get us to be able to take that game home, especially with that lead in the fourth quarter. And so it starts with me taking responsibility. It starts with me getting better. And I hope I will set the example and the urgency of what that looks like. And hopefully they will follow suit with their own things and we'll respond together. Well, we gave up 13-4 rebounds in the fourth quarter, and they went right inside and got paint touches from 25 from Martinez and from Reese. And we didn't stop that. And they just kept going to it. They played to their identity, and that's been a struggle for us. That's been a struggle in the last couple of minutes of who's going to get catches, what are the decisions that are going to need to be made, and executing down the stretch. And what we're best at is decision making in transition throughout the whole game. So it's a balance for me to be able to, how much I stop us. We weren't executing extremely well in the half court. We were most effective in transition. So how much do I stop that on our end? So the combination of giving up second shot opportunities and really getting beat on the boards, them going inside, and then us not executing to get in rhythm shots down the stretch. And that's been a theme for us. And, you know, people say, oh, well, I have a really good young team. So I will take all responsibility for that.
On that last play, you got a pretty good look for Emily, but didn't fall. Was that the play to get her that shot in the corner?
Yeah, no, it's a play that we work on pretty consistently. We'd run a different play on the other side, didn't get as good of a look. They ended up switching more effectively, and so I thought Charisma set her a great screen and got a good look at it, just didn't fall. And, you know, and we had a couple of good looks on three-pointers off of Cameron's offensive rebounding. You know, when we were down 3-2, they didn't go down. But I don't think that's where the game, we actually did get good looks when we were down 3. Whether it was off the offensive rebound or whether it was off that play in overtime. But that really had to do with more so putting ourselves in that position by not controlling defensive rebounds and paint touches.
And then in a game where there's 15 combined threes, Pellington leads the game in scoring without making a 3, and she's one of the, I think she's in the top 10 in shooting percentage in the conference. And what makes her so difficult to stop despite not having maybe the best jump shot?
Well, I think that it's really difficult when, you know, what made us effective in the first half with her on it is that they weren't able to get the ball inside. So we were able to really clog the paint and back off of her and really take away those driving lanes. When they were able to get those touches inside, now we have to decide, are we digging in to try to, you know, when they put the ball on the floor, both their post players like to put it on the floor, but then that changes the angle for her when she gets it back out on the inside out pass, and that's where she was getting her downhill penetrations or off ball screens. And so she's really good at that. And, you know, I think that is what we have to grow in, that they played with great maturity. You're talking Reese, Martinez, her, all upperclassmen, lots of experience, and they played exactly to their strengths in the most pressurized moments. And where we have to mature with our team is what are going to be our identity and what are we going to play towards and be counted on to do night in and night out. And the part that I'm really challenging our team to take responsibility for is, can they be counted on to cut like that off of those screens the way Kate Reese did and Martinez did to get those cuts? Can we set those kind of screens? Can we deliver the pass on time, on target to what we decide to do and to execute on a consistent basis? And, ultimately, I have to put us in the right positions to be playmakers for the right people. We have to grow, and they have to grow in our discipline to execute those things and find a way to make those plays.
I guess for both the players, I know you're both true competitors at heart, and I can tell how hard this is right now. How do you each reset yourselves, and then focus on Sunday? And then it's a two-part question then, what do you think you and the team needs to do to make the differences in these small losses that you've had the last couple of weekends?
I think, going forward, we have to focus on tomorrow. And, tomorrow we have an opportunity to practice and get better and get prepared for Sunday. And obviously we didn't get the outcome we wanted tonight, but we have to learn from it and not dwell on it and focus on getting better tomorrow. And I think going forward, we just have to continue to find ways to finish out games and put them together. I think, the last 3 games, they were all lost on just a few possessions. And I know we do have a young team, and a lot of freshmen and younger players playing a lot of minutes, but it's our responsibility, if we're going to be doing that, to be able to make the right plays and really just step up when the team needs us to. I think we can't blame it on our youth and our inexperience at this point. We've had enough opportunity and playing time, so we just need to get it done.
Yeah, just kind of to go off that. Every loss is a learning opportunity, so we just kind of have to put everything together, like she said. It takes time, but we have a young team, but we're all experienced. We've had multiple games where we can figure it out and put it together, but it has to be together, and that's the biggest thing. So using every day as an opportunity to get better and coming together and really figuring this out. It happens, but we'll figure it out.
Just one more for Coach. It's a 3-game losing streak, but if you really look at it, it's 2 losses by 1 possession to 2 ranked teams on their court, and then a 1 possession loss in overtime. How do you tell your young players, especially, not to overreact? These 2 sound like they're going to move on, but yeah. How do you kind of put the losing streak into context?
Well, I think that. Listen to them, and I'm lucky to be their coach, right? And they're going to go back, and I have total confidence in them that they're going to look in the mirror the same way. And I think the only response you can have is, what does it look like for us to improve? And, I think that has to be our response, win or lose, but especially when you're hurting and when you're really, literally, to have 3 games in a row by 1 possession that you lose. Ultimately, we just all have to go back to the drawing board and be like, okay, this is all about then how much can we learn when it really, really hurts, so that we're playing our best basketball going into the Pac-12 tournament. That's really what it comes down to, is, how can we get better? We use this pain to help us get better. And, it sounds sort of, I feel like a little bit like a broken record, but what's the other response you can have? Go into yourself, blame someone else, give up. I think that's the only appropriate response if we're going to be about the things that we say we're about, is ownership, grow in our toughness and togetherness, improve tomorrow, hopefully respond on Sunday.
And then Charisma Osborne, 1 for 7, 6 points, minus 17. Not her strongest game, but what can the entire team do to sort of help her get out of this shooting slump to some degree and get back to what we know Charisma Osborne can do?
Well, I think, I think that's a great question. And I think we have to be together. We have to grow in our teamwork. And Charisma's got to let us help her with that. And, I think, that's something that we're going to have to just say, look each other in the eye and be like, what does it look like to serve you today? And what does it look like? How can I make this easier for you today? And, continue to what Charisma does bring is her defense night in and night out. And, you know, I think that I think she will respond accordingly. But I think that's a team thing, and you know, this is when you have to link together, and somebody who's struggling has to be willing to receive that, and the other people have to be willing to do whatever it takes to serve somebody else and make somebody else better. How many plays can we make for someone else?